Welcome to the Leadership Expose podcast. This podcast is for purpose-driven leaders at diverse levels and organizations around the world who are seeking to scale and transform their leadership, to level up their business, and to create an impact on the lives of people all around them. Business and boardroom topics, trends, innovation, transformation, and the intersection with leadership is the focus. We enable success. I'm your host, Stephen Paul. In this episode, we meet Dr. Afa Pitts, a medical doctor by trade, and now leading a successful business as partner and founder of American Property Investments, where they develop, invest, and operate businesses and projects in various market segments. As an author and speaker, Afa is inspiring women and real estate professionals on a national and global basis. We will hear about her journey, her career transition from practicing medicine into running a business, a successful one at that, and how she brings valuable perspective on using business and technology to not only disrupt, but also power up the future of real estate. Dr. Afa, welcome. How are you doing today?
I'm doing well. Thanks for inviting me, Stephen. I'm very excited to be on your podcast.
Wonderful. We are completely excited to have you here as well. Just before the podcast, we exchanged where you're based, but for the benefit of our audience, tell us where are you based?
I'm in Austin, Texas. Was just thinking how Austin became quite a hot topic quite recently, considering all these big corporations moving to Austin. I don't know, Tesla, Google, Amazon, you name it. They're all here now.
You're in the center of it, aren't you?
Definitely. I love it.
And it's great. It's great for opportunities as well.
Yes, it's a great place to grow business for sure.
Yeah. All right. We'll talk a little bit more about that in a moment. But we're very keen to hear about your interesting personal journey intersecting with your current professional journey. Tell us a little bit more about how and where it all started.
Sure. You wouldn't believe it started quite far away from here. It was Eastern Europe. I'm a medical doctor by trade, an OBGYN, and always loved medicine, always will. They say once a doctor, always a doctor. That's very true. Even though I'm not practicing, but almost every single day I get medical questions from different people, from family, and they just expect you to be ready to answer. Doesn't matter if it's dentistry, OBGYN, ophthalmology, they just think you just know it all at all times. So I try. Basically, when it comes to the personal journey, I went through quite difficult times, you can say, at the beginning. While graduating medical school and starting my journey as a doctor, I was also going through pretty complicated marriage. It was arranged marriage, so it was a lot. So after all that, I moved to the US, and basically you can say it was a huge career shock, culture shock, everything you can think of. And basically just started from scratch here and decided that probably would be easier, which now I can say it wasn't that easy to start a business comparing to going through all the exams, trying to be a doctor here again, which is pretty complicated process. So I started API, and we started pretty humbly, you can say. It was flipping houses, renovations. That's where we started. And at the time, it was great. Honestly, the market was booming. It was hot. We were doing great, which I learned that from complete scratch, how to flip houses, renovate, recruit people, all of that. Therefore, at the end of it, I decided that it would make sense to make a book out of it and tell others how to do it correctly. So we were doing pretty good enough to be able to progress to commercial side of it and to multifamily. which is a little more complicated, a little more involved, bigger numbers, etc., which we enjoyed that phase a lot as well. Very interesting. I could just stay in multifamily forever. And then we decided that we're ready to add our acquisition department, which is acquiring businesses, established businesses, and growing them and developing them and possibly reselling them. So that is what we mainly doing right now. And when I look at the journey, it seems pretty crazy to me where it started and where I am now. Just last week, I was at Women in Business Award, where I was nominated, kind of out of blue, but again, I was honored. It was great. So yeah, it was a journey. We can say that.
So as you were describing that, I was thinking there are a number of pivotal moments that you went through personally,
Yeah.
but also from being a doctor. That's huge, being a
Thank
doctor,
you.
to then moving to a new country and then
Yes.
basically starting all over again,
Exactly.
and then
Exactly.
building a business and then diversifying the business as well. So these are big pivotal moments. How were
Thank
you?
you.
I'm very curious. How did you, from a leadership perspective and from a personal true north perspective, how did you manage through that? Wait, did you go through some fears, anxiety, or did it just come naturally to you?
Oh God. Honestly, I would say there's probably nothing without fear, right? There's always fear of failing. I would say that's one of the
Mhm.
big ones. Nobody likes to fail. I would hate that for sure. So, but you basically just keep going every step of the way. And that's one of the things that I feel like stopping people from succeeding
Yeah.
is being scared of not succeeding in something or other people talking you out of it and telling you, nah, this is probably too much. You probably shouldn't try, shouldn't go for it. At the end of the day, you're probably going to regret if you're not going to try. And if you're going to fail, you're probably going to learn from it and do something else much better. So it's always about trying and overcoming your fear.
And Afa, tell me a little bit more about that aha moment where you had this opportunity to, start a business in real estate.
Mhm.
What actually brought you to that aspect? I know you touched on it, but just elaborate on it, please.
Sure. Honestly, I was thinking like what kind of business I could start where I would need to go and study for it for
Mhm.
years. And this is the story I tell to everybody. I was casually scrolling through Facebook and there are always ads, and they were saying there is this real estate course. If you want to attend, it's free, like a little workshop on a weekend. And I thought, why not? I'll join it. And they was telling all about how amazing renovation right now is, how the profits are amazing, the market is up. And after that weekend, I thought I can try this. And I thought it was so easy. And God, if I could be a doctor, I could do this, no problem. Well, right after that, as I started, and I went right in, we got two houses that we go to renovate, and I was renovating two houses at the time. And it's enough for a book to tell like how wrong I was. There was so much to it. As I was learning, as I was going, from like what materials you need, what houses you need to pick, how you need to find the subs. Do you need to put them on a salary? Do you just need to hire them for a job? There's so much to it. It's amazing. But basically, thankfully, I managed to learn pretty quick, and we made that business profitable enough to be able to grow capital and grow to multifamily from that.
Wonderful. So you're basically applying all of that now, but you're also spreading the news and using that as a mechanism
Mhm.
to build your business.
Definitely. I mean, I'm pretty happy that we started where we started. If we would jump straight to multifamily, we probably would make, I mean, we would definitely make mistakes, but those mistakes would cost us way more than mistakes in flipping. So that was a great base because once you know how to renovate a house, you probably have an idea how to develop, let's say, apartment complex. So yeah, definitely glad we went there. We learned that, and then we could apply that to multifamily.
And how are you navigating through some of the challenges? Obviously, coming into this type of a business and establishing it, how are you navigating some of these challenges? What are they in your view?
Well, there are always challenges every step of the way, especially when you never had a business before. You know, everything from okay, how you create an entity, what type of entity, who you need to hire, who's going to be part of your team. I would say very important to have a mentor, just someone you can learn from, and someone who can just point things out and say, no, maybe not that, maybe this is much better. That's I would say that helped me a lot, and it's just experience. I would say, you know, every day is experience, and I know like much more now than I knew 5 years ago.
Yeah, yeah. And if I'm a company or a business or an individual or anyone looking to leverage a solution or work with you, how would a conversation with you and I sound like?
Well, if you and I would be to do business, you probably would be representing a business for sale as of right now. And well, conversation was not very friendly. Then I would need to find out all the financials. I would need to see all the numbers, how the company was performing, um, and we would definitely go from there. But this is one of the most important things. There is obviously a lot, like anywhere from location to the team, what type of business, but it's always comes down to the numbers and financials. And it's amazing, like how now I can look for them. I can tell you right away if it's a yes or no. But yeah, and then I would definitely want to go and see it in person. I would never do anything just like this over the phone, over the conversation. You go, you meet the team, you meet the people, and um, if everything comes together, this is where you try to proceed and you make it on the contract. And then you learn even more about all of those things
Yeah,
and
and
maybe close on it.
yeah, no, wonderful. Does location matter, or can this be done online? And does it have to be, or are you just doing within your particular area of proximity, or does it is it national?
Sure. Well, when we started, we were kind of trying to stay around Texas as it would be easier to manage. Nowadays, which I'm very excited about, we pretty much going nationally around the US. The location still matters. I wouldn't go for every single state. We have our ways of picking and saying yes or no, but we pretty free to travel all around US. So it could be anywhere. Right now we're looking at something in Florida, which I'm excited because the weather going to be great.
I can only imagine.
Yes.
Look, Afa, you're a leader, an entrepreneur in your own right, and you've given some great examples of how you've pivoted through certain challenges, but also, getting some great outcomes as well. Are there any stories that you want to elaborate that has resulted in a highly positive outcome?
Sure. We could talk for hours. I have so many stories. I'd like to tell people how when we just started flipping, right? Nothing too glamorous, but a very good learning curve. And we started with just hiring just random subs to do the work for us. And that just wasn't working because people wasn't showing up. Somehow people just don't want to work. I don't know why. And therefore, it was obviously affecting the quality of the work, the results, the time frame, and it's all about the time frame when it comes to renovating a house. So then we came up that we could actually hire the whole team and put them on a salary, so they would be working only for us. And after that, honestly, everything went so much smoother because people were just showing up like 8 to 6, just like office work. They would just not go into the office. And that helped us a lot. And that allowed us to basically have multiple houses going at the same time with multiple teams, which is crucial because after all, it's all about the volume. Like more you can produce in a certain period of time, more it's going to make sense. But I don't suggest starting from like 10 houses at the time. Start with 1 or 2 and grow organically.
Yeah, wonderful. And we've had pandemic, we continue to have that. Now we're also in this stage of recession,
Yes.
economic imbalances. How does that impact what you're doing from a business perspective?
Sure. Yeah, I mean, honestly, everyone probably been affected by the pandemic. I hate to say. I think the biggest problem for us was for people to be so fearful of the unknown that they just didn't want to show up to work. They were scared. And it's all about creating a safe space for people so they feel safe. Come into work, come into the office. They all spread out. We follow in all the protocols. That helped us a lot. And when it comes to inflation, recession, whatever you want to call it, or maybe all of it, yeah, for us it's crucial because when you buy in a business, there is always the underlying reason why the owner wants to sell their business. Is it because it's doing terrible and they just don't want anymore? They want someone who doesn't understand that to take it off their hands. So we're always looking for recession-proof businesses, so to say. Sounds pretty cliche, but very true. The businesses that can survive that and maybe even thrive during that, because they're businesses that are doing very well. We know from previous recession that it definitely happened. So yeah, definitely including that into our research, that parameter, I guess.
Yeah, and there's lots to navigate through running a business to running your teams, and just interfacing with that ecosystem around you. Do you take advice from other people, other leaders? Do you follow? Do you read any books around any of that to help you navigate through these opportunities and challenges?
Sure. I would. This is kind of funny because in the past I was pretty much the team of like one person. I really enjoyed, and I was pretty good at just doing everything by myself. You don't really need a huge team when, let's say, you're a medical doctor. You just need your knowledge, your experience, you're good. And then I was going through this learning process that, yeah, I do need a team. I do need people that would help me. And I also need smart people or people who are much smarter than me that would help me out, which I was lucky enough to have a business leader, much bigger business leader than myself, being my husband, being around me. And I truly admire what he's done. He's been in business way longer than I was. And I learn and will learn from him every single day. And he definitely navigated me a lot when it comes to API and what you should and shouldn't do, and maybe prevented me from, ended up making some mistakes along the way. So that definitely, business leader, I would mention, very easy for me. And I try to read business books, not just books for pleasure. to try to learn something from them, that's for sure. I do like the book called Execution by Larry Bossidy, because he talks about something that I love, getting things done. Basically, not quitting somewhere in the middle along the way when things get hard, because they always will, but getting to the end of the process and saying, okay, this is done. And basically, he's explaining what you need to execute that, which is people, strategy, and operation.
Yeah. It's true, isn't it? Because you can definitely have the design and the strategy, but it all
Yeah,
comes down to execution as well.
exactly.
And the other piece that you also mentioned about learning, it all aligns with the growth mindset, right? Because we
Definitely.
are in this
Definitely.
world where changes are happening and
Yeah,
they're evolving so rapidly. I mean, like, if you look at technology, you mentioned about Austin, companies coming there, but just generally technology, you've got artificial intelligence, you've got
very
even
true.
within the real estate business, lots of changes, lots of things that are happening. And if you don't make that effort to learn and apply some of those new methods, then you're going to be left in the back.
Yes, left in the dark. That's for sure. You gotta learn. You gotta stay up to date with the world.
Yeah.
Honestly, developing every single day rapidly.
Yeah.
Yep,
Are
that's
there
true.
any are there any important topics or trends on your mind these days, or is it primarily within the same sector that you're really focusing on?
Well, we really trying to focus on acquisition department of the business right now. That's our main focus, and trying to take it pretty much nationally. That's been our focus for this year, and so far it's going great, I would say. Touch wood. And we do try to stay in medical field of the business, so to say,
Mhm.
being pharmacies, laboratories. But we'll see. I'm always open to new things.
Wonderful. Afa, let's hear a little bit more about you. What does a day in the life of Afa look like, morning to evening or morning to night?
Sure. Well, I do like waking up, you can say sort of early, 6 a.m. usually when I get up and I'm ready. And I get up, I drink some tea, don't like coffee, and I go for my workout. That's kind of my only time alone by myself. I go to the gym, I run, I do yoga. I love all those things, and have breakfast, go to the office. And people may say it's boring. I love it. I mean, I love the routine. It gives me life. And basically at work all day, every day, which work is different on different days. It's not just office, because it could be office today. We could be going to Dallas, checking on whatever business tomorrow, going to Florida maybe soon. So that's the day. And then by the end of the day, always like coming back home. We don't like staying anywhere overnight, always trying to come back because there's family waiting. We welcome twins just recently. They only 9 months old. So yeah, they definitely need their family time, and I need it. So back home to the family in the evening, and hopefully going to bed not too late. Yeah, that's the day, and I love that routine. It's kind of
Yeah.
perfect.
Well, that's full on, and congratulations on the twins.
Thank you so much.
That's great news. You must be excited as a mom,
I'm excited. I'm a
family.
little
Yeah.
tired, very excited. All of those feelings.
Yeah, no, wonderful. You mentioned about acquisitions, but what's the next big business or personal adventure for you, or are you already in that space?
Yeah, well, again, don't really like talking about things that are not quite done, but we in this talking stages with the next business that we're looking at, and it's a laboratory, and that's kind of my expertise. I mean, I understand the field. It wouldn't be hard for me to learn and understand if it's functioning well because I know those tests. So that's the next one for us. We'll see how it's going to go. Again, all depends on all the financials.
Yeah,
Hopefully,
no,
all goes well. I'm
wonderful.
excited.
Yeah, no, that certainly is exciting, and it all goes with the theme of diversifying as well. So well
Definitely.
done you for that. Afa, we're coming to a close very shortly. Can you share any closing messages or a challenge to other leaders or entrepreneurs on life, leadership, or anything that's of interest from a business or personal perspective?
Sure. I would say don't let fear of the unknown or opinions other people to stop you from following your dreams. Better than dreams, I like the word goals, because there's always someone, a friend, that wishing you all the best and saying that maybe this is too risky, you shouldn't do that, a wife or husband or your mom, anyone. And people wishing you the best, but they may be stopping you from achieving something amazing that could be your future. So definitely don't let that stop you. And especially, special message for women, I would say, don't let the world, the situation, having kids or family stop you. It's all possible. um, it's all about multitasking and getting things done. It's definitely possible.
Wonderful, sensible words and wisdom from Afa. Thank you very much for being with us today and for sharing your journey and all the great things that's in front of you, and an inspiration for other entrepreneurs and women as well. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Stephen. Thanks for having me.
Okay, folks, thank you very much for listening in, and stay tuned for our next episode where we will hear from an M&A expert who is creating waves in building a new and unique platform for small, medium businesses for diverse benefits. We'll hear more about that. Stay tuned and continue to stay on to hear more about a free bonus offer for you. Thank you. Hey, I hope you enjoy the podcast. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. You're now seeing this part of the video also because you consume some of my content, insights, and teachings. Maybe you've been to my LinkedIn page or website or seen other social media ads or listened to my podcast. I'm Stephen Paul, a business and transformational executive coach, strategic advisor, leader, and board member. I've been in diverse roles, corporate executive, entrepreneur, and worked with businesses and firms of all sizes, built and launched businesses, created high-impact boards, and so forth in 4 continents. I get it. I've been there, done that, but what is different is I bring a unique perspective and a playbook. I've helped 100+ business leaders just like you to scale and align their leadership top teams, the board, and overall business for growth. Leaders like Ivana from medium-sized company in the EU who grew 150% and expanded globally in under 5 months. After she started to work with me over facilitated sessions in an initial 3 days, I helped fine-tune their strategy and align their leadership team and board to be a cohesive driving force to achieve their dreams and outcomes. I want to teach you the same thing and more on how to scale and align your leadership team and board so you can increase your business growth and value. Get clarity on what is the next right strategy for you. There are multiple ways we can work with you. Number 1, click the link for a free, non-obligatory 60-minute initial strategic session. Let's get a feel for your dreams, your vision, your challenges, and let me convert that into a route map for you where we can co-develop and co-pilot. Number 2, enroll in an innovative and intuitive digital online course that I have curated, created to help you transform. It's called Unshakable Resilience. It is the ultimate program for individuals and business leaders like you who want to be equipped at a personal and professional level to respond to any form of challenges or in crisis situations and take on opportunities with grit, resilience, and build a mindset of success. In essence, you want to be unshakable, thrive in crisis, take on opportunities in the face of adversity, and build a success mindset. So, click the link below to learn more on how I can personally help you individually and your firm to scale and align your leadership team and business and pivot in a transformational way. And for you to experience this, whatever the challenge you're facing, get in touch with me. Let's discuss, and I will share my insight rapidly to enable your transformation. Click the links below.